Formula One has been a sport for quite a while. With 1,101 completed Grand Prix, we've had 77 different tracks. And in 2024, we have 24 different tracks to race at. Is there a better way than to spend the F1 off-season by making a tier list of the 24 tracks in the 24 season? Now don't get bogged down if your favourite track makes it into the bin. There's 5 categories in this tier list. There's banger, dope, solid, mid, and bin. Because if you didn't know, these are my opinions. Go make your own tier list. With that out the way, let's set some rules here. I'm going to be rating these tracks based on overtaking opportunities, the racing itself, qualifying, the event, the fans, and overall how entertaining the races are. Bahrain's the first track which we race at. Have we ever had a bad Bahrain Grand Prix? From the Hamilton and Rosberg days to Verstappen and Leclerc in 2022, there really hasn't been a bad Grand Prix. Alonso battling for P3 on his debut for Aston Martin as well. Although I don't think it deserves the banger category, I'm going to put it in dope. It's a good race which delivers every time we go there. Round 2 we have Jeddah. This track isn't the best, as there's generally just a couple overtaking opportunities, but somehow the couple races which we've had haven't been that bad. Alonso and Ocon battling in 2022, and Verstappen binning it into the wall in qualifying in 2021 like an absolute rookie, which could have been one of the greatest laps of all time. I'm going to put this race in solid, as it's an alright race. It's not bad, but it's definitely not as good as Bahrain. Next up we have Melbourne. Melbourne's been around for a while. It's had some good track changes to help the racing, which is good. 2023 was an absolute banger of a race. So many incidents, so many overtakes happening. Alonso scored another podium. And back in the day when it was the opener of the calendar, it was chaotic. Hamilton and Alonso battling in 2007, and Jenson Button rolling away in 2009. I'm also going to put it into dope, but I don't think it deserves the absolute banger tier just yet. Japan makes an early appearance in the calendar, being at round 4, and despite its questions about safety like in 2014 and the Gasly incident a couple years back, it's got some good racing. Piastri nearly going for the race lead in 2023, and let's not forget one of the greatest overtakes ever, Alonso on Schumacher around 130R. I think this is a track where everyone's excited to go to, so I'm going to put it into banger. Round 4 we have a return of China, an absolute tire killer of a circuit. Daniel Kvyat's last podium in one of the most challenging circuits out there. Daniel Ricciardo known for his crazy dive bombs down the back straight. I'm also going to put this into solid. There's good overtakes, but not as good as in Bahrain and Australia. Round 6 we have the first American track, the absolute clown fest which is Miami. The 2 races which we've had in Miami haven't been good at all. The atmosphere is as real as the water around the circuit. And of course, let's not forget about Chuck Leclerc.
But it's wearing on you physically, and Chuck Leclerc, he said, you know, I felt it. He felt it.
And I'm going to put it into mid. It's not a good track. Imola's next on the calendar. And although Imola is one of the most iconic tracks in the world, it doesn't deliver good racing. 2022, half of the grid was stuck in a train. Wait, there's one DRS zone and really one overtaking opportunity into turn 1. Anytime we go to this track, we're really only playing for changeable conditions, as that keeps the racing entertaining. So I'm also going to put it into mid, as it really isn't a good track to overtake on. Monaco occupies round 8, literally the most famous circuit probably ever. Although there's minimal overtakes on this track, every year it somehow manages to deliver. From the changeable conditions in 2022 to the crazy race in 2018 where Ricciardo finally got his redemption and won the race. The show is spectacular and everyone's always watching this race. So the only category it really can go in is banger. Round 9 we have Canada. There's good straights for overtaking and the Wall of Champions is deadly. But the last couple races have been very forgettable and nothing really goes on in these races. So for that reason, I'm going to have to put it in mid. Next up, we have Barcelona. Overtaking has improved with the recent track changes, and 2023 was a good race. We saw some great moves into turn 1. Yet again, for me it was a forgettable race. Not much really happened, so I'm going to put it into solid. Austria occupies the round 11 slot, and in my opinion this is one of the best tracks on the grid. It's a short track with many straights, which is essential for overtaking. We see many dive bombs into turn 1, turn 3, turn 4, and then it repeats itself, I think 72 laps in a row. Qualifying is also intense, the gaps are literally niche, so for that reason it's gonna go in banger. We literally have banger after banger. As round 12 we have Great Britain. I'm instantly gonna put this into banger because there actually hasn't been a bad race ever. In 2023, Lando was leading the race for quite a while, scored a podium. In 2022, Carlos got his first win. 2021, Hamilton and Verstappen had their moment. And I could keep on going forever. After Britain, we have Hungary, literally the Monaco without walls. Although there isn't many overtaking opportunities, the overtakes that do happen are second to none. Daniel Ricciardo overtaking both of the Alpines in 2022, Daniel Ricciardo dive bombing Bottas in the Mercedes. 2009 was a dark day in the track's history, but looking past that, qualifying is entertaining as well. Hamilton got his 104th pole position in 2023. So with all of that considered, I'm going to put this into dope. Spa rounds out the first half of the season. Although there might be some safety concerns about the track, the racing always delivers. Hamilton and Alonso having their issues in 2022, and the here comes Sebastian Vettel moment springs to mind.
Places at the start, but here comes Sebastian Vettel!
Charles Leclerc's first win, and just an all-round great atmosphere. I'm also going to put this into banger. The summer break's over, and in round 15 we head over to Zandvoort. There's a couple pretty good overtaking opportunities, but when there's mixed conditions, the track really does shine. In 2023, we had the most overtakes in a Grand Prix ever. Qualifying's always intense, the margins are close as the track isn't that long, and the atmosphere of the circuit might be the best atmosphere at any circuit. The Verstappen fans are literally everywhere, so for that reason, I'm going to put it in dope. It misses out on banger as there isn't as many overtaking opportunities as the tracks listed above. From the Verstappen army to the Tifosi, round 16, we have Monza, one of the most iconic tracks in history. There's so many great overtaking opportunities, and qualifying's always incredibly close. The Tifosi make the track special. The podium is also a highlight of the circuit, which doesn't often happen. When Charles won back in 2019, you could see it was something special for them. It meant a lot. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to put it into banger. From a banging track to absolute disappointment, round 17 we have Baku. There might be a couple good overtaking opportunities, but there's no real fans at the circuit, there's no good atmosphere. And the only real entertainment that we get from the circuit are the number of crashes that happen. The Charles I am stupid moment in the castle section, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen bowling each other out into turn 1, Verstappen's puncture in 2021, Hamilton locking up after the safety car restart in 2021. They're all incidents that can be avoided, and without them, the races would be forgettable, as I really couldn't name you one good overtaking move that has happened on this track. So for that reason, I'm going to put it into mid. The race that changed Formula 1. Singapore's been on the calendar since 2008, and it's had its fair share of moments. We've had Crashgate, the incident between the two Ferraris and Verstappen, Sainz's incredible win, George's crash. There's always something going on in this circuit. And qualifying, or Hamilton's qualifying in 2018, was something special. And the track also is something special, so I'm going to put it into dope. The second of 3 American Grand Prix is Texas, round 19. Hamilton's arguably best track. Daniel Ricciardo riding a horse in 2022 was class. The only thing I really do remember is George Russell absolutely Brexit tackling Carlos Sainz down into turn 1. So for that reason, I'm going to put the track into solid. Round 20, we have Mexico. The atmosphere around Checo and the supporters that back Checo is crazy. It isn't the first track that springs to mind when you think of Formula 1, but overtaking is good. It's a thing and it happens quite often. There's long straights, there's difficult twisty sections, there's slow speed corners. The track really has everything to offer. This track deserves to be in the dope tier. Round 21 is occupied by Brazil. The amount of title deciders that has happened at this track, and the sheer amount of overtaking that happens literally every year. Every race is memorable, from Hamilton's astonishing drive in 2021 to Alonso marginally beating Perez in 2023 for the P3 slot. It's a short track, so qualifying is always close, and the mixed conditions always throw a spanner into the works. It's a shame that it isn't the final race of the season because, well, it's always delivered and it always will. So of course, it's going in the banger tier. The final American race is the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It really did deliver in 2023. I didn't expect much of it. The fans in the show really was something special. I didn't expect much racing to actually happen on this circuit, but overtakes were happening literally everywhere. And in my opinion, one of the best overtakes of the year happened in Las Vegas. Charles Leclerc's 7G dive bomb down into the final corner of the final lap to nab P2 from Perez. I think this is the best US track we have, so I'm gonna put it into dope. Qatar. Round 23. 2023 was a difficult Qatar race for most F1 drivers, feeling sick because of the immense heat. But the actual overtaking, qualifying, sprint race that we've had in 2023 and in 2021 was honestly good. Oscar Piastri's first sprint win and Alonso's podium in 2021. In the minimal races we've had, the track's delivered, so I'm going to put it into dope. And finally, rounding off the longest F1 season, we have Abu Dhabi, round 24. It might not be the best track to end the season with, but nonetheless, it's a good track. We've seen good moves in the past, good battles for the championship. 2021 was an interesting race, but apart from that, the races have been a bit forgettable. So for that reason, I'm going to put it into solid. Well, this is my tier list for the 2024 calendar. If you think I've made any major mistakes, make sure to comment them down below, and make sure to subscribe whilst you're there. Thanks. Bye.